CSC Show Control Part 4 Audio Action Cues. So let's say I'm playing back a WAV file, but I need to make some adjustments to that, either change the volume or pan it or fade it out. So we need some kind of what we call an audio action cue. So I'm just going to insert a cue in here, and I'm going to say something like fade down and say OK. So I've inserted my cue. Now I want to affect wave player 2's here. I have to be careful. I'm looking at wave 2. So up here in my wave player, I'm going to select player 2 and then go over to this box and click, and we have a number of options we can do. We can stop the playback of wave 2. We can fade it out. We can pause it. We could resume it. We could cancel loop. We're going to talk about looping. We could do a group fade where if you have a number of wave players fading, we could fade them out, or a group crossfade. We can do an all fade where it would fade out all of the different players that are currently playing. And then we can do a duck 18, which is typically if you're doing commercials for radio, where the background music would go down 18 decibels, and then your announcer voice would come in, and then when the announcer voice disappears, then you would bring it back up. So the duck 18, that's what it's referring to, is dropping the level of this track, and then you would have your announcer level come in, and then once that disappears, then you would unduck and bring the audio track back up where it is. Let's just simply do something like a fade. So now it's going to fade down, and it's going to automatically select 5 seconds for the fade down. And now we can determine, if you look at here, we're playing at negative 11.6 decibels and 11.6 decibels. So what I'm going to do with this one is change it and select how far down I want it to fade down. So now you notice that this changed to negative 24. So we can adjust the fade down in the fade down cue here, and you notice that adjusted itself. So we're going to go from negative 11.6 decibels down to negative 18.4, and let's just hear what that sounds like. Now when I fire this next cue, it will fade it down. And you can actually see in our wave player mixer, it's taking 5 seconds for that to fade down slightly. So there are a number of things you can do. You can fade out, you can fade down, you can stop, you can pause, you can resume. I'm not going to go through and demonstrate all of them. I think you get the idea. So we're going to call this an audio control cue, where you're affecting what's going on with this particular wave file. Just notice that if you have multiple wave files playing, make sure that you've selected the correct wave player that you're affecting here when you make your changes.